Since nobody knows who I am on this account, I will say it here. There is an autistic kid at school. He keeps telling me he is going to shoot up the school, constantly asks if I want it. I always get scared and say no. He says he will not shoot me and shoot girls so I can have them. He says he wants to join ISIS and become a terrorist. The thing is that he is either making really dark jokes, or he is just very mentally handicapped. I would feel like garbage if I told on him because I don't want the autistic kid to get in trouble. He might not know what he is talking about, but at the same time, if he does something, I don't think I would be able to live with myself. Edit. I am going to tell my dean, I promise. I appreciate you all telling me what I should do. Update. I am at school right now. When the day ends and going to go talk to the dean and the principal. Update 2. May 2nd, 1:58 p.m. I went to the dean's office after school today and she was not there. I assume she went to the school's main office for something, so I just left an anonymous letter. I have no idea where the principal was and had to get on my bus home, so I left. The dean probably will see the note. Update 3. May 3rd. I didn't see the kid in school today. I assume he got suspended or is in jail. I honestly don't know. I hope he is getting help. Update 4. I don't think he is at school anymore. I haven't seen him and nobody hasn't talked about him. I assume he is expelled or suspended, not entirely sure. I feel incredibly bad about telling on him, though. Story 9. My oldest son committed suicide in 2015. He shot himself in the head. Every day I talk myself out of putting myself in dangerous situations where I could possibly be killed or hurt because I miss him so badly and want to be with him. Edit. Thank you so much for the words of support and encouragement both here and in private messages. I appreciate all the thoughts. I want to assure everyone concerned that I am indeed seeing a therapist regularly, am doing okay, and I spend as much time with my younger son as possible. He's graduating high school next month and is our sunshine and joy, and through him, my oldest boy lives on. I am humbled by the care and concern I've received from so many strangers. You guys are incredible. Store 10. When I was around 7 or 8, my mother used to see a guy who would beat her just about every chance he would get. It wasn't anything for her to come grab me and my sister in the middle of the night, and we'd run away for a few days. Finally, one day, I had enough of it. It started like it always does, and he started laying into her. When he did, I jumped on his back and started hitting him as hard as an 8-year-old could hit a grown man. He threw me off him and onto the kitchen table. I tried him again, and this time he threw me into the refrigerator, held me by my throat, and I took my mother's beating for her. All I remembered was seeing his fist, then waking up and seeing it again. Something happened, and when I started to come to, I was in the front seat of her car with my sister in the back, and we was driving fast. I'm guessing running from him? Anyway, she lost control of the car, and we flipped into the ditch. I drug myself out. For some reason, my shoulder and arm hurt so bad I couldn't hardly move it. But I managed to pull my sister out and then proceeded to collapse. I woke up in the hospital. Nobody was there. Nobody visited. I was alone. After about a month stay, I was moved to a place called Helping Hands where I was reunited with my sister. We stayed there for roughly 2 months until one day my mother showed up. She was in prison. She took us home after a few weeks of supervised visits. When I got home, I immediately moved out to my dad's house 3 states away. I was forced to grow up. Fast. Never had a childhood. The days I wasn't watching this boxing match in the kitchen, I had to basically care for me and my sister by doing to the cooking and making sure we got what little school we could. My mother made poor choices with relationships and drugs and alcohol, and in result, I lost the better part of 10 years of my life. When I moved in with my dad, I remember him crying to my aunts because of me. I hoarded everything I found. Wouldn't wear shoes, didn't take being scolded well, slept in my closet, and never really slept until I passed out from lack of it. He stuck with me, though, and got me on a normal path, and for that, I'm grateful. But I still have problems to this day. Health and mental. A 33-year-old man shouldn't have to sound out words when he reads. I've only told my wife about this and obviously my dad. I've worked hard and now have a good career with the capital city of my state. I have 2 daughters that I pray will never see half what I do, and that is my main drive in life. I haven't spoken to my mother in quite a while. Looking back, I'm sure I could have gotten her into heaps of trouble. But it is what it is. Thanks for listening. Reddit update as requested. It was asked how my sister turned out in all this. Unfortunately, she didn't follow me. Even though I begged and pleaded with her, she continued to stay for another few years. She did, however, move to the state I'm in a few years back. But my mother's influence was too strong on her. She spent her later teenage years dropped out of school and doing drugs. Fortunately, she's never had kids through this experience. She was recently released from prison for prescription fraud and intent to distribute. And the last I heard, she overdosed on heroin and had to be given 2 shots of a Narcan to be saved. I tried to get her clean, but she stole from me numerous times and got a bunch of credit cards in my name and maxed them out. It was a huge mess. I haven't seen her in almost a year, and while I wish her well and hope she cleans up, it can't be me to be the one to do it. The time I was around her, if she wasn't stealing from me, she was trying to influence me on drugs. I just wanted to say something. Thank everyone who took the time out of their day to say a few kind words for me. I've been struggling the last few weeks, and my feeling of self-worth hasn't been very high. No, I'm not suicidal, but I was just letting life beat me down some. I really appreciate every person here. I was actually recommended Reddit from a friend as a form of self-help. I mostly lurk on the subs, but enjoy hearing people's stories myself and how they work through them and the steps they took to get there. From a big part of my heart. Thank you so much, fellow Redditors. Edit again. Holy crap, I got a piece of gold. Thank you, whoever sent it. Everyone is so awesome. Story 11. My whole professional life is built on a lie, and it's about ready to come down. When I was 22, I was in a bad way, halfway through my bachelor's degree, but with a building addiction to opiates and some mental health issues. Summer of E. That year, I was in a bad car accident. In addition to broken bones throughout my body, my head went through the window and my face received severe lacerations that required hundreds of stitches to close and left me looking very rough. As tough as that was to deal with, I also now know that I sustained a traumatic brain injury that left me very confused, angry, and overwhelmed by life in general. I wanted to keep up appearances, so after taking 3 months off to recover, tried to go back to school. Within the first week, I knew I couldn't handle it. Too many questions about what happened, too much anxiety, and I had lost pretty much all my coping skills. When I got overwhelmed, which happened often, I would feel sick and scared and literally forget where I was and what I was doing. It was frightening and embarrassing, especially for someone like me who had always had high expectations placed on my shoulders by those around me. I had lost pretty much all my friends at this point, and in my mental state, I thought that those who remained would abandon me if they knew how much I was struggling. So, I told everyone that it was going great. Every day I would leave the house for 6 hours and drive. Sometimes I would stop in a parking lot, sometimes I would just keep driving all day. I would find cheap used textbooks at college bookstores so that I could bring them home and study. I created elaborate lies about my classes and my professors in order to have stories to tell when people asked how it was going. I kept telling myself that I was just doing this until my brain worked again, and that next quarter I would go back. For real, when I could actually handle it. Problem is, things just kept getting worse, and as time went on, I became less able to get back on track. This went on for 2.5 years, until I was supposed to be graduating. So I lied about that too. I forged transcripts and came up with stories of why I didn't want to work in the field of my degree and hoped to move past it. I got a labor job, and slowly found things working themselves out as my brain chemistry improved, and steady work kept me from completely destroying myself. Eventually, I had to move. For the first time in over a decade, I was finally free of my opiate addiction and starting to feel part of the world again. But I was still carrying the lie of my college degree. I volunteered in some places related to that field, and they really liked me. They liked me so much In fact, that they hired me on an emergency basis, no transcripts required, and I've worked there ever since. Now, 3 years into my sobriety, and seemingly a lifetime removed from the pain of those years, they want to promote me to a career-level job that I would absolutely love. I'm so good at what I do and it brings me so much joy. But this promotion would come with scrutiny and background checks that I know I can't stand up to. When I was so depressed, I honestly didn't think I'd even live this long. So while I knew that my lies could create this situation, I never prepared for it.